Buildy here. Dandelions. My kids told me to hold on to them for them. They probably forgot about them, but Uncle Buildy says he's going to do something. He does it. I'm at the park. I just want her nice and slow so nobody will get dizzy. It's a nice day, as you can see. No coat. I think it's about 75, maybe 76, 77 degrees Fahrenheit. It's nice. First really nice day. No wind, no rain. It rained yesterday. Come closer so you can hear me. I'm sorry, Uncle Buildy hasn't made many videos very much anymore. This is an interesting thing, the information war. The Russians don't seem to even want to participate anymore. They just don't care. And why should they? Truth's on their side. Everything's loaded. Everything's a loaded game. Everything is rigged. Everything's a kangaroo court. Doesn't matter what they say in the West. It makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. So what do? Russia's a Christian nation. I believe that. I see plenty of evidence of it. It looks like it to me. What did Christ do in such a situation? Yeah, he just dummied up. He didn't say a word. The governor was amazed. All these charges are brought against you and you don't speak? Yeah. Why speak? What good would it do? They don't want to listen. They've already set their minds. They set their face. People have already made their decisions. There are some people that don't have enough information. They've been lied to, been shown false information, but they don't bother to look. And the information that they have is illogical. You have to have a real racist, prejudice, stupid idea of what Russians are. Just like you did, Muslims in the past, that they do crazy, stupid, illogical things. Yeah, that they just line people up and shoot them for no reason and then leave. It's a delusion, and people don't want to hear any different. They don't want any information to contradict that, so they can't do it if they don't want to. Why waste your time? I still put out information. I mean, tons of evidence. It's just like more coals on their head. Put coals on somebody's head, yeah, they might come around if they got a conscience or they care about the truth. If they don't, well, they just double down. It just pisses them off. So I hadn't been doing a whole lot towards that. I've been kind of busy anyway. I'm broke. I got plenty of money in the U.S. I have none here, and I can't get my hands on it. I've been trying to get people to, turn me on to some way to do it because I can't find anything that'll work, from here. And I had somebody tell me a way that'll work, and I've been having trouble because it works for him because he's in another city. I'm in Crimea. Things are weird here. Keep popping up. My IP pops up Crimea. I can't even say I'm in Russia. I don't have a VPN that'll say that I'm in Russia. That's not one of the options. So I don't know. I almost got registered once, but I was doing it on my PC. I couldn't do it on my phone for some reason. And I got to the last part and they want me to take a picture of my ID. Well, you want to put it flat on a dark surface and take a good picture of it. You can't do that on a PC. I'm holding it up to the camera. I did the best I could and it sent it back. Says not good enough, rejected, start over, go back to square one. I got to do it on my phone. But I can't get them to send me a code on the phone, SMS. It just doesn't ever show up. So I don't know, maybe technical glitch. Maybe I'll get it later. I still have a chance. I still have a chance of getting money here so I can pay my bills. It's just bad. I got nothing and my wife's got like less than 100 rubles. Can't take the kid to kindergarten Monday because we haven't paid. So thank you for all your help, and it is making a difference because Eventually, maybe my pile in the U.S. will be big enough where I can afford to go get it. I've got some plans, but there's ways of doing it, but I got to get out of here to do it. I got to get to Moscow. I can buy a ticket online, an international ticket online with Serbian Air, Turkish Air, any of the carriers, and get a flight to Belgrade or Istanbul. And there my credit card will work, but I can't send money home unless one of these things I'm doing works. I gotta have money now for my family, and I can't come up with it. My wife's really angry. She's an angry person anyway. I get bills and wore out shoes waved in my face every day. I can't do anything, I'm trying. That doesn't work. She said if we got divorced, she could get social benefits. So the state's going to cause me to abandon my family? Really? I don't know. Seems to have been her fantasy for a long time. Maybe her dreams are coming true. I don't know. It's a strange world. If I don't have any other options, what am I supposed to do? Tentatively, I'm going to keep flogging away on that crypto scheme and see if it works and see how long it takes. I don't know how long it takes to convert this stuff. If I buy crypto and I can send it to an account here, and then I have to put it on the market here, I have to wait till somebody buys it. I don't know. I'm not a crypto head. If anybody is a crypto expert, please get in touch with me and tell me everything I need to know, because it looks like this will work if I can ever get registered. I got to tentatively plan on getting out of here, because I can't do anything unless I get my hands on it. I can't even operate. I think if I had a little money I could go get the kind of bank account I need to make transfers, because I know people that do that. I know some Europeans that live here. They claim I can do it. I don't know. No guy uses the European bank, and he gets his money here. But I'm an American, and you can try to go to a European bank or any bank anywhere in the world and get an account. Yeah, they hose you. They said, oh no, you're an American and we don't want you. You can't get an account here unless you have like a $500,000 balance. Because otherwise it's not worth it for them to do all the paperwork that the IRS makes them do. It'd be nice when they start these requirements start falling off. They will. If the SWIFT system has crapped all over itself, or it's not, for at least half the world, it's not a reliable way to bank, because they steal your money. They lock your money up and they keep you away from it. That's not banking. That's not what a bank does. For political reasons, we're not at war. The U.S. is not at war with Russia, but they're not delivering mail. They're shutting off the banks. This is crazy land. There's going to be another system to replace it. That's good. It's not happening tomorrow, though. Yeah, tomorrow's Sunday. Yeah, it's not going to happen tomorrow. I got to do something. I don't know. Had somebody tell me that there's another certain country you can go to and get an account there, even if you're an American. And then you can transfer to that bank from the U.S. and then that card will work here. I don't know if that's true or not. Sounds like plausible. I'm going to look into that. I might go there. They're watering the plants and the trees. This is a hell of a time to leave. This is a beautiful place in May and April, late April, early May. My wife's birthday's coming up and I'll be not able to do anything for her. That's a big thing. Russians really are into birthdays. I get beat over the head over past birthdays when I wasn't here. Yeah, I was making money. I get beat over the head over a lot of things. Uncle Billy don't give up. I think I'm going to have to dig out the most valuable things that I have here that I part with. You know, that didn't belong to my dad or something, but some power tools that I got that I bought here and stuff like that. They're all cheap. But all of them together, I might get enough money out of them to get a bus ticket to Moscow so I can fly out. And I got to have enough money to pay for the COVID test. Yeah, they still got that crap. That's a nice impediment. I got to pay for a COVID test to fly, so I got to come up with the cash for that. I don't know. If the crypto thing doesn't work out, I guess I'll be scraping up everything I have and going to Moscow so I can escape and go somewhere where my card works. Then what do I do? Try to bring back some money to my wife, and then I'm broke again. I got to set them up somehow. Oh, they're not going to starve. This is a welfare state for official people. I don't know. Maybe she's not telling me everything. Sure doesn't cooperate very much, and that doesn't help. Can't do it all myself. I don't know. If I can get some money here, I want to give her something to try to patch things up and keep things going so she can work. She makes very, very little apparently. She doesn't tell me how much she makes, but she's only got 56 rubles left and she still hadn't paid any of the bills. Well, you know, that's not enough to live on. She get all the social benefits if we're divorced, she reminds me constantly. Or if I became an official person, as an unemployed official person here. I keep getting registered mail for taxes I didn't pay on money that I didn't make. Yeah, I just about had it. I love it here and I want to stay. Don't want to go back to crazy land. But I can make money in crazy land. Of course, it's going to be worth less and less, rapidly declining. Maybe as soon as I get there, it'll fall off the cliff. Then what? I don't know. It's hard to plan things these days, isn't it? Oh, this isn't very uplifting, is it? But you know, I'm thinking maybe, you know, it might benefit people. And maybe somebody's got some real advice for me, especially crypto. I need to know about that stuff. It's sketchy online, and I'm sure it doesn't work the same way here that it does everywhere else. I looked into it a long time ago, and the markets here, how do you convert it back to cash? And all the crypto markets that I saw in Crimea were sketchy. I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them. But I think they do work in Moscow, and if they work in Moscow, it could go into my bank. I have a Moscow bank account. So I don't know. Just ruminating. And you people that are really up on it and actually do know, yeah, get in touch with me. And all my information is for contact is at unclebildy.com at the bottom of the page. It's a nice page to visit anyway. It's interesting, I think. A lot of people do. Well, don't want to make videos all about me, but I'm just letting you know what's going on. And there might be a scarcity of videos if I have to ride a bus to Moscow next week. I'm in a hell of a dilemma. I can take care of the kids so she can work and make not even enough money to pay one bill. Or I can just sky out and then she has to take care of the kids and she can't work and she has absolutely nothing. I don't know. Got to be something I'm missing here. So it just doesn't add up. Uh oh, my daughter's here. Вот, вода. Где Фима?
Там.
Фима, хочешь воды? Не, скажи вопрос.
Я на
She wants water. I have a bottle of water here. I've been keeping cool in the shade. Let's see, where was I? I'm going to do some videos if I have time. I continue to explore truth and how to make sense of things. You really want to take advice from me on that? Maybe. I'm kind of at some sort of edge of something. Maybe I see things other people don't. Maybe I'm the last person that ought to be giving advice. I don't know. I'm starting to lose my confidence. That's not good. I'm usually really good at getting around all this stupid political crap and obstacles they put in front of us. But yeah, they've been screwing the lid down pretty tight from a lot of different directions. And now they've really gone over the top with this unplugging the SWIFT system. And they won't even deliver mail anymore from the U.S. to Russia. The mail service has been shut off. Not just packages, even letters as far. I couldn't get concrete information on that. Definitely packages. But letters, well, you know, maybe they do, maybe they don't. They don't even want to give you a freaking answer. And I finally found one site that seemed official that said all mail service has been temporarily suspended between Russia and the United States. Yeah, the U.S. did it, the Postal Service. What right have they got to do that stuff? Because, oh, Russia attacked Ukraine for no reason. They spent billions of dollars making this happen, and now they're punishing them for defending themselves. It's so crazy. They're wicked. They're just freaking wicked. How long is this going to go on? Is this the little season that they talk about in the Bible? Where the devil's been unleashed? I don't know. If it is, it looks like it'd be a lot worse. Who knows? God's mercy. If it's a little season, how little is it? 1,000-year reign comes down to a halt. I mean, the transition between the 1,000-year reign of Christ, if it is, if you are post-millennial and think it's already happened, I mean, it's not like it's such like night and day, like a door shuts and then the devil appears. It'd have to be a process of corruption first, wouldn't there? I think that's what we've had for the last at least few hundred years. And now it's reached a crescendo. What counts as the little season? The corruption period? Or little season at the end of the corruption? I don't know. Things to think about. You interested in that kind of talk? I am. I could go for days about it. And it all ties together. How does God teach us? What are we here for? We're certainly not here for our own pleasure and comfort. Ugh. Yeah, I'm going to go along lines like that with my videos. Unless, I want to hear from my viewers. And what's going on here. It's interesting. Videos about how they do things here. I did a couple videos that I didn't put in the can because I don't think they were very good quality. About my job search here. I might cut parts of that one out and then put the rest of it in and see if it makes sense. Or I could do it right here on this one. This isn't very long. I guess I got to add to it. Let me see the time here. Excuse me. Gonna get sideways on you. 15 minutes, I think. I don't have my glasses. Yeah, my wife wanted me to register with the official employment setup. Unemployment. I don't think he really get benefits, or you're eligible for some sort of discounts, vouchers, whatever. But you got to be official. And I tried to register with it. And it's nuts. I'm a millwright in the U.S. I do everything. Millwrights do everything. I'm a master millwright. I do some pretty impressive stuff. Any sort of machine work, any sort of welding, MIG, TIG, stick, sub-arc, plasma, I do it. I don't really like welding that much, because when I say I'm a welder, that's all they want me to do. Machine work, milling machine, lathe, vertical lathe, even weird stuff like that, surface grinder, I do it all. I was a crane operator for years, hell of a lot of experience, 90-ton RTs. I do all kinds of stuff. You know, here, okay, I'm registering to get a job or a job search or for the unemployment thing, and they ask you your profession, and you got to use the nomenclature that they thought up and they think is valid. And everything I put, it's like, this is not a category. I started to do real basic stuff and say, factory mechanic. This is not a category. Okay, let's just try mechanic. Okay, it says, what kind of mechanic? Well, it dropped down a list for me to pick from. Hundreds of things. The first one on the list was the mechanic of the hat making machine. And then the next one is like the mechanic of the machine that puts dust jackets on books. And then it's the mechanic that sorts, of the machine that sorts aggregate for concrete products. It's like every single kind of machine in the Russian Federation is registered, and you have to pick one to be a mechanic of. That's how they do things here. That's insane. How am I going to find a job like that? I've worked in energy plants, pipe plants, tubing plants, automotive plants, casting plants, foundries, sugar plants, alcohol plants. I can go on and on. I've worked in places that make pasta. I worked in every kind of plant imaginable. Machinery is machinery. It all has the same principles. But here, oh, I'm the mechanic of the hat making machine. That's all I do. They're like bees, or at least the bureaucrats arrange things that way. I suppose it works too, because if I was born and raised here, I would have went, if I wasn't smart enough to go to university, or too lazy, they would have sent me to an institute. Or I could have just graduated at 16 with nothing. Then I'd be an underground, economy worker, unofficial person. Don't want that. The horror. A lot of people do it. But if I went to institute, they would have trained me. I would have had to pick a category, and it would have been a real narrow one. I've got an institute nearby here. I'm gonna take a video in front of it sometime when it's not busy. I went to do it before. There's always a bunch of students hanging out, and I don't want to be filming their front door. The front gates of the place have these big posters that show all the things they do. I want to show you that, because it's got people welding and people working on trucks and people baking and people sweeping and scrubbing windows and doing dishes and all these things. You have to have an institute degree. You get a 2-year degree to be a janitor, or I guess a dishwasher apparently, or a baker, or work in a bread factory. All these things, you get a 2-year degree, and then you go into specialization, where it would cook down to being a hat machine mechanic or whatever. That's the way things are organized here. If you want to go to Russia and you got a real narrow specific category, well, it's not going to transfer smoothly here either, because I did get through this thing. I finally found a general category. I picked was a tube mill operator, or no, the mechanic of the tube, the machine that makes tubing. Well, I'm a certified tube mill operator too. I work in tubing mills. I'm real good at it. But, well, that'll work. Of course, there's a million different kinds of tube mills too, but whatever. I got through that, and I went to the next step, and it's what kind of degree do you have? Oh, I listed my trade school I went to. I did go to a trade school while I was in high school. It's the Iroquois Area Career Center, which doesn't exist anymore in Watsika, Illinois. I put that down just to see what happened, and that's not a real institution. They want me to put a Russian institution that's registered with the government. And if I can't fill that in, then I just don't pass go. There's nothing here. It's always something. So I always wanted to get some fab equipment and just have my own little business here, but I never got to that point. It's always something. Having to take a haircut and having to go without working and then the COVID thing happened and just been no end to it. I got a piece of property and a half a shop, but it ain't going anywhere. I don't have a freaking penny here. If I could make that big score, I can go get it and come back and everything will be gravy. But that's a pipe dream. It could happen, but nah. Dealing with reality here. Probably going to have to leave. Eventually, if I can get some money here for the wifey, that'd be good, and pay the bills and get caught up and try to make some sort of easy transition for her, and then I'd have to go somewhere where I can make some money. Then I have to sniff out a way to get it to her, which might happen. Things might break loose in some areas. I think they're going to start establishing some alternative systems because the old system is dead. When they started messing with people over the woke stuff and the phony stuff and the political stuff, they started taking away people's money because their country did something that the military-industrial complex and the Congress critters and the corrupt idiots in the U.S. didn't like. Yeah, that was when the fat lady started to sing. It's all over now. You don't have an economic system anymore if you treat people like that. A bank, by definition, holds your money in trust. They don't hold your money and say, "Oh, I don't like your opinion, so I'm locking your account and keeping it." That's what the U.S. does. You're going to get what you deserve, U.S. I'm not talking about the people there, but you kind of let things get out of hand. You've been played like everybody else, and now it's coming home to roost. I'm a U.S. citizen. Unfortunately, it's a huge liability. It's going to be a lot worse liability. I can't go get a German bank account. I think that there's some German banks that you can still do business with from here, if I'm not mistaken. Or a Mongolian account, or an account that works here that I could transfer from the U.S. No, I can't get one because if I'm a U.S. citizen, they don't want to mess with you because they got so much paperwork to do. The IRS requires this and requires that. They have to hire full-time people to keep up with the IRS. They don't have to do that unless they got American citizens that have accounts, so they don't allow them to have accounts unless they have a big one. You get a $500,000 balance, then they'll play ball. I don't have a $500,000. Yeah, I looked into getting accounts in other countries a long time ago, and it's impossible for U.S. citizens to do. Now you can get online accounts. They got a way around it in some places. I got a Moscow account, but doesn't do any good now. I don't have any way of putting money in it. Just can't make anything here. A lot of people said, "Well, you can just teach English." There's a million English teachers here. And they're all Russians, and they're all very bad at it. I don't speak Russian well enough to be what I would consider a good teacher. I could help people polish their English if they already speak it. There's a lot of people already doing it. I knew a guy from Scotland that did that here, and he was awful. I couldn't hardly understand him. He punctuated all his sentences with "in it." And he was helping ship captains polish their English, and he's getting paid like $10 an hour. He didn't work very many hours though. That was a long time ago though. He's a great guy. I liked him. I just couldn't understand him, and he spoke English. There's a lot of Ukrainian ship captains out there now that probably talk with a very, very bad Scottish, low-register Scottish brogue. There's a lot of funny stuff like that. They kill you with your schedule here, too. The kids, each one of them has a different schedule at school. Like this class gets out at this time and goes in at this time. My oldest daughter goes in the morning and gets off early afternoon. My other daughter, she has to go in around noonish and then get off late in the evening. And it's a different time every day, and you got to go get them and stuff. And then if you want to play the game with all the benefits and stuff, if we were eligible for them, if we, if I got a divorce, or if I managed to register successfully somehow by pretending I went to a Russian institution, I don't know how I'm going to do it. But if I did do it, then it'll be spending 2 or 3 hours every day standing in lines at the offices to get the paperwork. It's crazy. How they just oppress people like that so bad. Half the population here is in a bureaucratic position. It's just parasitic and unnecessary. It's sitting on the heads of the other half of the population. That's my whiny, bitchy downside of living in Russia. If you got plenty of money, you can skate right over it. No big deal. I thought I would do that because I made good money, but I just got bogged down in the transfers and in the political games. And it just got, that's my story. It got worse and worse and worse. And then COVID. And now this. Hard decisions got to make. Well, there's interesting facts, at least, I put in this video for you. Some things you might not know. My perception of reality here, I'm pretty sure it's true because I'm living in it and I'm not crazy and I'm affected by it. And it's changed and it keeps changing. I'm just astonished. I guess I shouldn't be. In the U.S., I can get a job like that because I can do a lot of things. Here, they don't believe it. If I tell people what all I can do and have done here, I even brought an album of pictures of the things I've made in factories, the things I've designed and built from scratch. Very beautiful, complex machines. They're still using them, as far as I know. They were a few years ago using some I built 20 years ago or more than 20 years ago. I even show pictures, and I got certificates, and I got a whole stack of certificates and references and stuff. Yeah, about all this stuff. But here, it's like they act like I'm some kind of circus freak. Look at this. Oh, beautiful. Oh, there he is. See the chopper? A lot of military choppers flying around. Sometimes they get real low and close. A lot of jets too, fighters. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, they blinking incomprehension. I might as well be telling them that I work on spaceships or something. It's like they can't get their head around it. Everything's a specialist here with a stack of paperwork to prove it. Or if you're a foreigner, you usually come in with another company with a big stack of certificates that they doctor for you to make it work in Russia. But or they have exemptions or something. But then mostly European companies, and they're not here now, I guess, anymore. They're all pulling out. God. But yeah, I tried that route too. The European companies are a lot of them pretty much the same way. They look out for their own people foremost. Well, the German companies, I noticed they hire a lot of people from Poland and Czechoslovakia and such. They don't hire Americans. And they want to know what institute you went to. You have to have a degree to work for them too. In the Middle East, it's the same way. Everybody working for the company from Europe is a degreed professional. The only people they hire to do what I do are local, and they have to be babysat because they're like Saudi peasants, Arab. Oh well, not even Arabs in Dubai and places like that. They get Pakis and people from India to work for them, and they're very closely supervised. It's a huge divide between managers and people that actually do the work, and they want the people that actually do the work to be just, on the level of dogs. They don't want them to have any rights or any bargaining power. It's still not that way in America yet. They're trying to make it that way. They're trying hard, but I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do any of it. I kind of doubt it. These companies that I'm an automation specialist, as you remember, I worked in a lot of places in the U.S., and a lot of these places, they're so out of control. Management trying to run everything, and they can't by ideology, and it doesn't work because they got rid of the apprentice programs. They got rid of all the experienced people. They want to hire single mothers and Somalians and Mexican peasants to do all the work. So they have diversity. And then everything falls apart. The wheels fall off everything. And then they hire me and my buddies, and we go in and put out the fires and make things work. I was full-time at a stamping plant up by the lakes for a while. They wanted me there all the time just to keep everything going. So they had a whole bunch of people there didn't know what they were doing, and office people wouldn't even go out and look. They stayed in the office and made everything work on paper. That's all they do. They were wasting electrodes. They still used the old spot welders, robot spot welders, and they had like 50 different kinds of electrodes. And they wanted me to dress them up. Well, they just had them in random buckets piled up all over the place, and nobody that could sort them out and identify them and turn them and inventory them and put them in a place where they could be found for the right machine. I did that in a couple of days, a couple of 12-hour days. It was a lot of work. I set it all up, and then I spent a couple of weeks dressing them and putting them back in place. And as soon as I left, I heard it all just they just start throwing them in buckets again. Because they're untrained people that's not a good, they're uneducated people. They train them, office people that don't know what they're doing train them, but they don't care about their work. They're not craftsmen. They got rid of the craftsmen. Craftsmen have bargaining power. Craftsmen organize themselves. They don't like that. They want everybody to be a peasant, and it doesn't work. The technology is never going to get to the point where it will work. That's why they're trying to go to the Great Reset and change people. They want to re-engineer you, where you can be a craftsman because you've downloaded programs and you're being controlled by a data system and not your own brain. Sounds crazy? Well, go look at some of their websites and stuff they've come up with. Klaus Schwab and the Great Reset, DARPA, all these people, that's what they're working for. They think they can actually do that. The ultimate slaves. Well, we could go that route too with my videos. Lots of people doing that though. But I've seen it from inside American industry in the factories. I can tell you why they're putting some of this technology in, the purpose for it. It's not to eliminate labor, it's to eliminate highly skilled labor. That's the only kind they want to eliminate. It's to put everything in the office, to put the office people that sit behind their little computers and analyze data, and they think that they're running the plant. I worked at one place, they had a strike, and I worked for a company that had a contract with them before the strike. Of course, the union wanted me to sympathize and have a sympathy strike for them. Yeah, they don't do anything unless they're paid for it, but they want you to cut yourself out of a job for them for free. Yeah, right, okay, hold your breath and I'll do it. Yeah, I went in there and I was doing maintenance, and they had a very huge, sprawling, complex plant. And they handed me a stack of papers that had an ID tag and location of every gearbox, okay? We're doing gearboxes today because the computer said to, and there were hundreds of them. And they gave me a thermometer, the thing you point at it, like they do at your head now to see if you're sick, and a vibration tester. Same thing. Laser, I guess it operates off, or infrared. And I used to go around and take a reading on the vibrations and temperature of every gearbox in the plant. And this is in North Dakota. Or, excuse me, it's in Minnesota. It's in northwestern Minnesota. And I filled out all the data, and I realized something. While I was doing it, I saw, this is stupid. These people don't know what they're doing. They think they can run it from the office. They think they can run maintenance from the office. They don't want to buy a man that goes around and knows the equipment and knows his whole area, going by that machine and hearing a funny noise, or noticing some smoke or some heat or some more vibration. They don't want him going around checking things, because that requires skill. They want complete idiots to work there that wouldn't notice anything. They want to run it from the office, and they have a maintenance program that somebody sold them. It goes on the computer that they think will do it. So they get some dummy to go around. Actually, they're paying me really good wages to do it. I'm a master millwright. They're paying me to go around and take data readings of everything and give them to them. And I noticed some of these gearboxes, some of them were right next to steam pipes. You know what? They're going to be kind of hot. Some of them were right next to vibratory equipment. You know what? They're going to have a high vibration rate. Some of them were a nice, calm, placid environment. Some of them were right next to windows, and it's wintertime in North Dakota. 40 below and the wind's whipping through. It's going to be a little cold. And I told these jokers when I turned in the data, I said, what do you do with this? There's no context for this data. It's absolutely useless. And then they looked at me like a herd of goats. It's a class thing. You don't work in the office. Oh, конечно. It's like they just wait for the noise to stop because, you know, the caveman came in and barked at them, and they don't like that. Get out of the office, just give me the data and get out. I'm a computer expert. Yeah, it really is a class thing. They really think they're smart. They're idiots. There's no context. They're doing something that's illogical, irrational, and useless. They're getting paid. I got paid too. I don't like doing things that are against human nature. People need to balk at that, because that's what built this system. So had a show, Fame? All right, молодец. Fema. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm worried about my boy. His little buddy at the kindergarten is kind of, he runs flopping his hands around like this. He doesn't have any siblings. He's an only child. Now my son does it. He's 6 years old. And we came to the park and he insisted on bringing this. I said, son, the other boys will make fun of you. Maybe not. I haven't seen any trouble. Seems to be okay. It's a different culture. It's a different time than I grew up. I need to be here. Or maybe not. Where was I? Oh yeah, data. Useless data. That's what they're doing. In the office, it looks like they're really doing something. We've got all this data. Look at these vibration figures and look at these temperature figures for these gearboxes. We're going to have to replace that one. Yeah, probably the one next to the steam pipe. They're idiots. And you try to tell them about context, and they have no idea. It's like these people here. You might as well be telling them I'm a spaceship mechanic. It's a strange feeling. It really is. I got to check myself. I think, am I losing my mind? Have I got delusions of grandeur? Am I, starting to think that I'm 10,000 times smarter than everybody else? No, I'm not. I respect people. I give them the benefit of a doubt, and they let me down damn near every freaking time. I've got stellar recommendations. I work well with people, as long as they're not, just complete assholes. I can even get along with assholes. I get along with really shitty people. I have before. I do what I got to do. I'm polite and professional and get the job done. Like I said, I get a job like that in the U.S. Anybody I've ever worked for, I can go back to them. If they're doing something, they'll put me on real quick. Glad to. Might not be a whole lot going on in the future. I don't know. Anything's up for grabs. If the Q-tards are right, well, it's all going to change any minute. Yeah, they're going to make America great again. I don't know. All this stuff America's been doing and is doing now, it's not really America, though. It's an international cartel of globalist techno-oligarchs. And there's still people saying that they're the Masons and the Jesuits and the Jews. Yeah, there's people like that in there, but that's not what it is. Those are just tools. Globalist technocratic oligarchy, monopolar world versus a multipolar world. And then there's people that tell you, well, Putin's in on all that too. Russia's doing the same thing. No, they're not. They're not. I'll post a link on this. It's a really good debate on that. It's rather lengthy, but it's well worth listening to. And I know these guys on this thing. Oh, I know 3 of them. I've been following a long time. One of them's a real douche. And you'll be real obvious which one too. He's smug. People saying the most obvious thing and self-evident things in the world, and he's just sitting there smirking at them. You know, it's God. And you see what we're up against. It's a great debate, and it's very telling. It's very you can get a lot out of it. I'll post it down here. I'm going to cut this off, so it'll take all night to download it. And I'll keep you posted on Uncle Bildy, if nothing else. If I lose my internet's connection, I can maybe go out and beg a little money and go to an internet shop and or an internet cafe, and they still have them here where they have their computers. You go in and sit at a desk, and I can put an update. But we'll see what happens. Gonna see if I can get some of my money here. That's important. If I can't, well, all hell's gonna break loose, and I'm gonna have to get out and leave my wife and kids with nothing. Nothing! I might be able to get out and get something and turn right around and come back and give them enough to like catch up a little bit and then go back out again. That'll be rough, but Bildy does what Bildy has to do. Uncle Bildy signing out.